This week on Queer, we discuss the effects of social media, how social media affects our dating lives, our personal lives, and so much more. Our icebreaker this week is us just shooting the shit. Let's dive into Jay starting prep. Here we go.
After I have sex with 4 people in 2 days.
But you know what? Maybe
You just started prep?
what you needed to
Again, yeah, because it hurt my stomach.
Oh, right.
And
it
now
only hurt your stomach for maybe 3 weeks.
No,
tops?
it hurt forever. I have a stomach disease.
Oh, yes.
Anyway.
Damn, bitch.
But now it doesn't hurt as bad for some reason. I don't know why. I've taken it for 2 days and my stomach hasn't hurt. And I was like, oh, that's good.
Maybe it's mental and you're just like, meh.
Yeah. Maybe now I'm just like, oh my God, I do not want to have HIV. But
just
both the people I
want
looked
somebody
at,
to
I looked at
nut
2
me.
people on their grinders and both of them said that they were on prep. So, but I think I have a mind that I was on prep too. And I
Like,
was,
oh, me too.
and I was not.
Like, I took
If they're both on prep, then you're...
But I wasn't on prep. Now I'm on prep.
But if they're on prep, you should be okay.
Yeah, I hope they were on prep.
Just remember, prep doesn't save you from STDs.
Yeah, but chlamydia is whatever.
So is syphilis, and so is
Yeah.
non-herpes.
Is it whatever?
Okay,
I
listen.
mean, a couple shots to your buttocks and you're okay.
Okay.
But I've had sex when I had sex with 6 people in the first year and a half of living here and got some kind of STI 3 times. I think I've told you that.
Oh,
So,
my God.
After that, I was like, it doesn't fucking matter what I do. I could fucking wear a whole body condom and I would still fucking get HIV.
That's
Not HIV, I
fucking
mean,
wild.
get
Have you
an
not had an
STI.
STI?
I have, but like, okay, so the fact that he got it 3 times is crazy.
50%.
Because when I had an STD, I've had an STD actually, I think twice in my life,
Wow.
maybe 3 times tops.
Wow.
From like the moment I was sexually active, which was like young,
Yeah.
to now.
Yeah.
Wow. Congrats.
Yeah.
I've had syphilis at least 4 times.
Nice.
And I've only had syphilis. It's always been syphilis, 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 syphilis.
I always get that. I always get chlamydia and I got gonorrhea once.
So those are both a pill, no?
Yeah.
So syphilis is it's 2 shots
Hot?
to your ass.
Nice.
And it hurts. It hurt.
Hot.
TMI. But
Smell
this
it.
guy that I know that like I used to talk to back in the day, we like
Gave you
fucked.
syphilis?
Well, we fucked like a couple months ago, and then he tried to like come at me like, you gave me syphilis. I'm like, no, bitch. Like, I get tested every 3 months because of my prep, right? I'm like, I don't have anything. He's like, well, I have syphilis, and he's going through a breakup. So I'm like, you might want to check your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then I go to fucking hassle free, and I'm like, well, this motherfucker said that he has syphilis, so I ended up getting the 2 shots to my ass. I was in pain for days. I got the call today. Oh, no syphilis. So I was pissed. I'm like, I was in pain for days.
Oh, you got the shots.
I got just think because you can get it like if you come in contact with someone, just in case. So like, for
Why
me-
were you gonna go get fucking blasted that
No,
night?
it's
Were you
just
like ready
that
to get just like fucking become a cum dumpster for somebody
I
that
just don't
night?
want to
They're
have
like, I
to
need
go
the shot
back.
now.
I don't want to have to go back.
Oh.
I'm already there. Do you know what I mean? So like, just treat me like if I could, I would be like, give me all the fucking STI medications at once.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just in case.
Yeah.
Dead.
I have a friend that does that. I think that's weird.
No, it's amazing.
No, you should
No,
put them
because
in.
I think at some point the certain kind of like antibiotic or whatever that they give you stops working.
Yeah, it's like using abortion for birth control.
Yeah. So like then they need to use either like a stronger one or a different
Maybe that was a
one.
bit aggressive.
So
I
that's
see
why
what you're saying.
it's not great that you like let's say you're sexually promiscuous and then you go like every week just because you're like one of those paranoid people and you get it because like if you just tell them, oh yeah, I think I've been in contact, like at some point the medication in your body is going to be like, okay, this medication's been in here for a minute, like we get it.
So then you add in
But now
another
we're-
pill or add in a 3rd shot and
Yeah.
call it a day.
No, it's not good. It's like when you eat. Aren't you supposed when you're a kid? Like you're not supposed to take all the antibiotics because the antibiotics make you like more sicky when you're older. Do you know that?
Well, anyway,
My mom was
I'm-
like, "Eat dirt, rub it into your fucking wounds,
It's true though.
bitch." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, mom."
So true.
Welcome back to Queer,
Welcome to Queer,
where we talk about all the things that you don't want your mom to hear you talk about. And sometimes she does. Also, do you want to hear something so funny?
Yeah, always.
My mom, I finally posted like one of the things of us talking of the
Queer?
of queer
Your
on my.
mom posted it?
No, I did. I posted it on my Instagram.
Was she like,
as
what
like
the
a
fuck
post?
is this?
And it was about sex toys. And she was like, that was really funny. That little 1 minute conversation you had with your friends about sex toys. I was like, oh, it's my podcast. And she went, what's that? And I went, oh, don't worry about it. I was like, oh, thank God. Because I was like, this is me getting outed again. You know, this is me outing myself to my mom that I do this podcast. But she doesn't know. She doesn't really know what a podcast is or how to find it.
Aww.
I know.
Good.
And it's like these fucking Gen, what are they? Gen Xers. Are our parents Gen Xers? Or are they boomers? I think our grandparents are boomers.
Grandparents are definitely boomers.
Yeah, I think they're Gen X's. Like the Gen X's are like, how do I screenshot? Like that's like, so I always feel safe with putting whatever I want on the internet with my mom because she doesn't know anything.
She'll
how do I
find
make
it.
the volume turn on this video? I was like, did you check the volume on the video?
You know, speaking of which, I actually just taught somebody the other day how to scan a document using notes on iPhone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's 2020.
How did you not diddly know that?
And they're
Well,
like,
I only knew that existed like 6 months ago.
What? It's been happening for years, girl.
how, like, did you physically go to like
The
the scanner?
scanner?
And
No,
Yeah,
I
thing?
saw like an article like 10 things you don't know your iPhone can do, and that was one of them.
okay.
Well, speaking of iPhones, how's your guys' social media game going?
Wait, icebreaker, bitch.
Wait, what's the
Oh,
icebreaker?
what's the icebreaker? I thought that 10-hour conversation that we just
That
had was
could be
our-
the
That could have
icebreaker.
been.
Perfect. So then that's the fucking icebreaker. Me talking about my fucking syphilis.
Yeah. Hey, also, if you're gonna have this is I think the moral of that story, that last one was, if you're gonna douche, make sure you have sex with more than one person.
What?
That was for me, not for you.
Sorry. How did we get from?
Sorry, I was talking about the
to
4
that?
people I had sex with this weekend. I just wanted to drop that in there.
Wait, what?
Did I tell you about the 4 people I had sex with this weekend?
No. Well, I heard about the threesome, but then I went to the bathroom. So
Were we not on live when I said that?
No.
no.
Oh.
But please share. Tell the audience.
Tell us.
Icebreaker. Okay, so
Tell us.
So I got fucked up and then I lied to my friend, which was a bad thing. Left his house to go have sex with one of our friends. Did not have time to douche. Was really sad. Did not turn out super well. Then had shower sex. Finished. It was great. Went home. Was like, I'm still horny because I didn't get off.
Okay,
Douched.
wait. Okay,
What?
before you even go on, you know better.
I know.
So,
and,
like-
I ate Thai food too. I was like, ah, stupid idiot.
Bitch.
I knew.
So you knew it was coming.
Well, because all I was doing was going over there to suck his dick.
Okay.
And then he's
You're
like, I want to
never-
do more. And I was like, I literally know what will happen if we do
tried.
more.
You tried.
And he was like,
Okay.
no, he was like, I don't care. And I was like, I kind of do. And he was
Yeah.
like, whatever. And then all of a sudden it just popped right in there. And I was like, oh, fuck. Not because I'm loose. That's because it just happened. And I was like, damn, fuck, whatever. So we had shower sex and it was still really great.
Wait, please. Okay, before you continue, I actually this is so crazy. I would love to get inside of your mind frame
Yeah.
the moment that he pulled out. So what was going on in your mind?
So, you know, you have that aroma is in the air. You're like, oh, fuck.
Okay, yes.
So I went, I'm going to put, because he's my friend too. So I was like, I'm going to put this pillow over your head. I'm going to cover your face.
Wait. Backtrack. What position are you in right now?
I'm on top of him.
Okay.
Oh.
So I was like, I'm going to put this pillow on top of your face. I'm going to go and grab some things to make sure that you never have to see what has transpired here.
That's cute. That's good.
He kept the pillow on his face.
Oh,
I
good
cleaned
friend.
up what transpired, threw that out,
That's adorable.
and
That's
then
cute, right?
and then continued to have sex in the shower.
That's adorable. Okay.
So I was just like, and because you don't want to be embarrassed, but you're like, because like shit happens. But
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is your fucking fault.
Like you wanted it.
Yeah.
So you got it.
Yeah, you got what you wanted, and it wasn't great for you. Anyway, so
See, I had sex recently as well, and the same thing happened to me, but not as cute. So like we were having sex, and then like when we switched positions, I
Yeah.
smelt it, and I kind of just like, for me, it's like it's really hard for me to kind of be like, hey, it's dirty,
Yeah.
right? So
For you, I'm picturing you being like, okay, like you can leave.
I have way too much like. I don't know. Like I guess I'm way too much of a gentleman. I may seem like a jackass, but I don't want to embarrass the other person.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So like, I like in my mind, I was extremely horny. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck, and I'm gonna get this nut, and I'm just gonna like not breathe, right? But he smelt it.
Determination.
But he smelt it, right? And he was like, "Oh, I need to shower." So then me, I was just like, "Oh, like what? Is it dirty?
Like what?
Like what? Oh, I didn't realize." And then
The
like,
Academy Award.
That's so
goes
nice.
to-
yeah. And then we showered together, and he was like, "Do you want to fuck in the shower?" For me, once I smell shit, and then we stopped. That's it, right? So
Yeah.
we stopped, and then he was like extremely embarrassed the entire time. So the sex was done.
Aw,
That was it.
So you did not get off.
No.
I'm sorry. I also didn't get off that
yeah,
night
yeah.
at that point. So then I went home just yesterday, remembered, because I just want to also express how fucking drunk I was.
Okay.
I was like, every person that had sex with me didn't take advantage of me because I was the one that pursued it. But like, I don't really remember. And yesterday I was like, oh my God, I had sex with another person.
But wait, where'd the other 3 come in?
We're getting there.
Okay.
So I get home. I douche because I have a friend that's like, yo, like, what if you come over to my house, snort a line of coke off my dick, and then like we can have a good time and go at it. I was
literally like snore.
Yeah. And I was exhausted. So I was like, because I was so drunk. I was like, that sounds like a great idea. But then before I left, one of my other friends came over and fucked me.
Okay, first of all, let's pause again. What kind of friends do you have that just come over and fuck you?
Like,
Because
hey, snort a line off my dick.
do I not have the right friend?
Yeah, you probably just don't have the right friends.
Where'd you meet these guys?
Go on.
Well, like the one friend, me and him, like the first one that I shit on his dick, he's a really good friend. The other guy I've known a couple of times, and I texted him at the same time that I texted my other friend that I wanted to suck his dick. And then this guy was like, why don't I just come over and I fuck you? And I was like, well, we're already here. I already douched. So I let that guy fuck me. Then I showered really quick, went over to my friend's house. This sounds really COVID unsafe. 2 people in this conversation were in my bubble.
Everyone on this conversation was tested and vaccinated.
Thank you. Then I go over to the last place where there's 2 people. One of them is my friend that I play a game called Dead by Daylight with, and his friend and their dog, but the dog has nothing to do with it.
This is where the threesome comes in.
This is where the threesome comes in. So then the one guy has to go out and walk his dog, and then the other guy, I'm like making out, we're fooling around, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm gonna stick it in you. I was like, cool, let's get it. I've already been here twice this evening. And then the door opens, we hear the dog coming in. He's like, hurry, stick it in faster. Put it inside of you faster. And I looked at him, I said, sir, that is not how buttholes work. But then he proceeded to fuck me. But he tried to just like jam it up in there. Because he wanted his friend to see me already being fucked while he came in the house.
Okay, so then he came in the house, and then what?
Then he like came around. I sucked both their dicks. We like had a good time. He ate
Was
my
he like
ass.
surprised to see you guys?
No. We already knew
But
this
that
was
was
gonna happen.
planned.
Yeah.
It was planned.
Yeah. That was great.
Okay, wait. So now
I'm mad that it was the plan, because that would have been so sexy if you just walked in like, oh, you're fucking?
I mean,
In my bed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have so many questions.
Yes.
First of all, did you get off? Like, obviously, you did not get off the first time, but did you
No.
get off every other time after that?
Yeah. Yeah. And then when I got home after that night, I jerked off.
The stamina.
I don't know
I'm the same way.
I don't know what happened to me
What?
though. Like that's never like, and that doesn't happen to me very often.
Where do y'all have the stamina?
So I don't have this. Like for me, if I fuck once in the day,
You're done,
I'm
right?
good.
Me too.
But typically speaking, if I fuck, I will jack off shortly after.
What?
It's a thought of it. It's the thought of that was some hot sex. I will jack off again.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I can't. There's no way.
I also in the threesome, I came in one of the guy's eye, and his eye was swollen for like 2 hours.
Pink eye.
But we had sex for like that last one. I had sex for like 3.5 hours, 4 hours. I was
Bitch.
exhausted.
Bitch, that is a workout.
Yeah, I my thighs were sore.
How are you fucking taking dick for 3 hours?
Plus 2 other times before that. I don't know.
And
God
you
made me
don't
this
use
way.
butt plugs? Oh my God. Okay.
I was very, very drunk. I was
Oh, right,
numb
right.
from
But
And on coke.
during the threesome. Yeah,
maybe she's born with it. Maybe she's a bottom.
maybe I was just made to do this. God. Wow. So I thought we already talked about this in a very quick term, and then we just really got into it. So yeah, and I have to tell Kabir that I forgot to tell, because he got mad at me because I lied when I left his house to go have sex.
You should be like, listen to the podcast.
No, because we got in a big fight and we like didn't talk for 2 days. Just because
Over your sex life?
no, because like it's a mutual friend that I had sex with the first time, and I told him that I was like anxious, which I was. Like we were hanging out, and we were with one of his friends that I didn't know super well, and I like just felt anxious, and I was like, I just really want to go. So then I left, and then I proceeded to go have sex with his other friend, and I think that made him feel awful, and that's understandable.
Honesty is key, girl.
So now that I remembered that I had sex with a fourth person, I'm going to tell him, oh, I just remembered. I looked through my text messages with my other friend, and I jokingly said that, oh, and I think somebody fucked me before I left my house. Oh well.
I can't.
So this podcast is not about me and my sexcapades. Also, just a like last thing that I want to say on this is that I don't have I want to be a big old slut, and I got to live that slut fantasy for one time ever since I've been in my 20s. So I'm very proud of myself.
Perfect segue, actually, because our topic this week is social media.
Yes.
Right. So now it was weird for me. So this one week, okay, on my Facebook, there's this one boy that I'm like, oh my God, actually there's two. One that I tried to get on this podcast, but like he's like social media famous. So like he's delayed with messages. But there's another one that's just like so sexy and like just an average guy. Ends up going on like a vacation, and
A vacation to where, girl? We're in a pandemic.
he's American. He just went across America.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
like from like
Okay.
Saskatoon to Orlando. Anyway.
Saskatoon is not
Bitch,
America.
shut the fuck up. anyway, so now he's talking about how like he's going on vacation, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, his status was 10 dudes, 20 loads.
You're lying.
I kid you not. And like all his like followers started like, some were like praising him, some were dogging him, all that kind of stuff. And for me, I was kind of just like, huh,
You were intrigued. weren't
Was this
you?
on his OnlyFans?
on his Facebook.
With his family?
Well, I'm assuming he has no family on Facebook.
I'm pretty sure he has no family if he's putting that on Facebook.
But I was like, huh, like, is it worth, like, should he be slut shamed or like empowered for embracing his sexuality? Or not even that, like in reality, a lot of people are doing this. It's just that no one's posting it to Facebook.
Right.
So how dare we slut shame him solely because he's posting it to Facebook? Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm like, here I was like, okay, well, like, you're not as attractive to me anymore. But then I'm like, who the fuck am I to be like, you're not as attractive because you simply just posted a fucking status doing what we're all fucking doing anyway.
Right.
Yes, but isn't it just like the socially acceptable thing to not tell people that you took 20 loads?
Why?
Well, okay, let's kind of put in the context of like, okay, you're going to a job interview, and obviously it's customary to shake hands and be like, hey, salutations. It's not like, hey, like, I'm going to shake your hand, but also I just took 20 loads before I got here.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just, I mean, that's fine if you want to do that.
I swear
No
it's
one-
spit. I swear it's spit.
Right? Like, no one's going to knock you if you did that, but like, it's just kind of like not the right place for it.
Did you ever find that either of you with like this podcast? Because we've talked about some like pretty like over the top things and like sex
Holes.
things and drugs things and holes.
Dicks,
Like
foreskin.
like, are you ever nervous that like people are gonna find this on your social media and then like use it against you in your future?
Actually, let's ask you first, because you're the one that made the decent people.
Yeah. So, okay. So for people that know, so like I have my like original social media, like so my original Instagram, which is just me, which is like my personal one. And then that one has nothing to do with
At
this.
Britney Spears.
Right.
Yeah. And then when we started the podcast, that's when I made a new one where I can just kind of like be free to like do whatever, like post like, thoughty pics and
Right.
like talk about like anything.
Do I have your other account?
Yeah.
I fucking better.
Yeah, everybody does.
Okay, I would have fought you.
Oh my God.
Do you even post on that one anymore? I don't see that one.
I don't, only because
You rather be a hoe.
I mean truly no, but no, it's because I have a lot of like family and like work friends on my personal one.
Yeah.
Right.
And like the thing is, and also that one has a majority of like a lot of straight people on it.
Right.
Fair enough. Okay.
And then this one, my decent people one, is more like catered to gay and queer people because it's just all about gay and queer things.
Mhm.
And I kind of like it better that way, just because at least with my decent people one, like I know that I can literally post anything that we talk about here, and like I don't give a fuck. Like
Right.
it is who I am, so whatever. But like at the same time, I'm not gonna post that stuff on like my personal one where I have like work colleagues from like whenever ago where they're like married with kids and like they don't want to talk about dick.
Right.
So time and a place.
Absolutely. I get that. What about you?
No, I don't really. I don't really think that deep into it, like in terms of like posting like this kind of stuff. For like, well, on the flip side, it's like whenever I post about the podcast on my like Instagram, it's more so just generic stuff. So it's like whatever you happen to find on the podcast, that's your own doing. You know what I mean? But like, I don't go post like, hey, we're talking about dick today. Do you know what I mean? But like, I think everyone on like my social media at this point knows I'm gay. So at that point, it's just like, if you're going to listen to this podcast titled Queer,
right,
expect some queer shit.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And like, it's the same. I got to a point where like I don't really care about my high school friends, and like if they don't want to follow me, I wouldn't really. They're not even my friends. Like the ones that don't really mind are like my best friends. I would be like, oh, whatever. There's Jay being like without their shirt on again. Good job, Jay. And then, but then the people who didn't like it right at the beginning, because I started posting like thoughty photos of me like without a shirt on, like when I started going to the gay bar when I was like 18, 19 years old. I was like, actually, I think I did it when I was like 16, 17 years old on this thing called Nexopia, which you know, Nexopia. That I was like, here's me without my shirt on. I'm 15. And like, so like I've always been that girl. So I think that at the end of it all, if you don't like it, don't follow. And like, the only thing I hope is that I never become a elementary school teacher, because then I will be fucked. Like it'll like everything I put on the internet, I will never be. They'll be like, you can't teach.
Absolutely.
But I just like, I want to be able to, even if I was to teach grade 1, I want to like be able to go into my grade 1 class and be like, what's up, bitches? And like my leopard print fucking leather jacket. Then like, today we're going to learn our ABCs through Instagram thought pics. Anyway.
You know what's funny though? At the same time, the people that have messaged me on like social media, surprisingly enough, have all been like straight females. Like the last I think it was the last episode I was mentioning the Free Britney one. They're like we're talking about our favorite Britney song. This one lady, I want to shout her out real quick just because she messaged me, but can't find it.
Shout out time. It's shout out time.
My DMs are popping. So
shout out time. It's shout out time.
Why aren't more listeners like DMing us? Like we could be shouting you out. But why
now. Why did she
constantly
message me per se?
Oh, because she saw your arms. Yeah.
Anyway, so I can't find her, but she had messaged me saying, "Oh, what's your favorite Britney song?" I was like, "Oh, like you're listening to the podcast." And I was like, this is a straight female. I was like, oh my God. I loved it.
Oh my God. What's your favorite Instagram wow, that answers mine. What's your favorite platform for social media? Mine is Instagram.
Yeah. For me, they each serve a different purpose, to be quite honest. So I do love Instagram because I'm a very visual person. But when like Twitter for me, like I get all my news on Twitter. So like,
and your porn.
Yes, and porn, absolutely. But like mostly news. Right. But like mostly porn. Only because Twitter is like very like instant. Like you can literally find like anything that happened 5 seconds after it happened on Twitter. Whereas like Instagram, it's like, oh, like you posted a picture that you took like 3 years ago on your vacation and you're saying that you took it now. Like
Throwback Thursday.
No, girl.
Do you have a separate Twitter account for your porn and for your news?
No.
Wow.
It's all just one.
And is it your face as the bubble?
No.
No, I knew that. Because you don't tweet.
I do tweet.
Oh, you do tweet?
I do.
As you're not face tweet?
Yes.
Are you secretly famous on Twitter?
No. Oh my God, no. Because I use my Decent People Twitter account.
Oh.
So it's like, it's very new, but it's like my only Twitter account now. And like
scandalo.
For people who are listening, like if you want to see some real thoughty pics, like go to my Twitter. Because like Instagram be like,
yeah, you can only do so much on there.
Yeah, before it gets flagged. Okay. But Twitter, like if y'all want to see some more.
Do you have a secret fans only, Jamal Alexander?
OnlyFans?
Whatever. What did I say? Did I say fans?
No.
You literally say fans only.
Honestly,
I don't know why. I can't do it.
I would love to. Like I thought about it, but I'm like, I have way too many tattoos and shit where I'm like, it's not going to be a secret. And I'm like,
there's makeup for that.
But does it have to be a secret?
Yeah, why does it have to
be
I
work for the government.
Oh, true.
So you can't show
I
your
can't,
dick?
You can't show his face.
If I get a speeding ticket, I have to report it. So imagine me having an OnlyFans. I'm fucked.
Being like, yeah.
I want to Google that for you to see if it's okay.
It's not.
I always wanted to do an OnlyFans, but I just don't have a giant penis. So I just feel like there's like
you don't have to have one. Just play with your hole.
Yeah.
You're good to go. I follow a few people that just play with their hole on.
Do you actually follow some people? No, that's
not on OnlyFans, on Twitter. And they have OnlyFans, and they have like this submission face, and they're just playing with their hole, and then sometimes someone come over and fuck them.
Okay,
and they're
so
making
if
bank.
there's anything that I've learned through my Twitter search,
Yeah.
is that literally there is a demographic for anything, and you don't need to look like a fucking like porn star. You
Mhm.
literally just have to do your thing,
Amen.
and people will subscribe and like watch to you. Like,
Amen.
No.
'Cause
how do you think I'm living?
In reality, in reality, we all have different types, right? Like there's this one guy that I have on Snapchat, and he has an OnlyFans, right? But he posts like previews of his OnlyFans on Snapchat. And I'm like, you're not cute at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like
somebody out there thinks he is.
somebody out there thinks
and
he
they
is.
be paying.
And like he will post like a snippet of someone coming over to suck his dick and shit. I'm like, well, kudos to you. Make your coin, right? So
Yeah.
like everyone has their fetishes, everyone has their thing. So like, hey, you never know. And people are making money.
That mean I know there's people that are millionaires from being in the sex industry now.
Like, let me just sign up.
Like, if you guys think that any of us should have an OnlyFans, message DM the person who you
We
think
should do like a queer OnlyFans and we just sit here naked doing our podcast.
Okay, but like we say that all the time, and like,
Nobody wants to
where's
see-
that
I
at?
never said we were going to sit here doing our podcast naked.
Okay, well,
As Jay addresses.
takes off clothes aggressively.
So random thought. So
Yeah.
everyone that I direct to this podcast can't tell me and him apart.
Oh, like when
Like
you
our
guys are
voices?
speaking?
Yeah, and I'm like, we have two very different fucking voices, and for some reason they don't know who the fuck I am.
That's so good for
Okay.
you because then everybody probably doesn't think you're like a conservative piece of shit. 'Cause I think that it's kind of
Relax,
Mind you, how I describe myself though is I'm like the raspy one that always says the most inappropriate things, and they're like, yeah, no, I can't figure it out. I'm like, Jay is like upbeat, like he has a lot more pep in his step, and they just still can't figure it out.
Okay, so I think like I think when we first recorded like the first couple episodes,
Yeah.
I was having that thing as well, and I'm like, how do I
with me
not
and Jay?
tell you guys apart? I was in the episode.
You're like I was there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's because your voices do sound almost similar.
They're
but
not similar at all.
No, but like I can tell how people can get confused. But I think after you listen to like one or two more episodes, you can really differentiate.
I guess.
But like the first episode, like let's say you've never heard us at all.
So I'm
Right.
Alexander Jamal, and I identify as a gay man.
I'm Jay. Oh fuck! Now, do you want me to sound? I feel like now I'm overthinking it. I'm Jay Northcott. Yeah, that sounds so much. I'm Jay Northcott, and I identify as a queer thembo.
and I'm
Dembo. Is that like a joke or is that a thing?
No, it's like I like use they them pronouns, and then I also am a bit of a bimbo after you heard from my last story. So a thembo.
Thank God.
Himbo is a big like Twitter term right now.
Have you seen the himbo? Like the himbos with the giant fucking thighs that you just want them to fucking crush you.
Yeah, absolutely. I follow them.
Okay.
So
But on to
Social media. Do you see? Okay, can I just say one thing really quick?
yeah, say it.
So, listeners, we usually always have a little railway path that tells us our ways through this conversation. We didn't have that today, which is fine because I love this conversation. I'm having such a great time. But
Because
we're
there's so
never going.
much.
We're never going to get on the topic of social media
We're
without
not.
getting
I
distracted.
was just about to take us there. I was actually going to say, so like on a serious note, because we've been talking about social media for the most part, but let's dive into the nitty gritty aspects of social media. So how has social media impacted your lives on a daily basis in terms of how you think about yourself, how you navigate your lives on a daily basis, how you navigate your relationships, if they have any impact on your personal relationships, etc. Let's go with you because you're the taken motherfucker in this room. How does social media impact your relationship?
Okay, so social media does not really impact my life as much on that sort of realm just because I'm like with somebody, only because I don't really engage. Like, yeah, okay, sure, here and there, like I'll get a DM, like whatever, but like I don't respond or like I don't, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not like that sort of person. But at the same time, now, like I'm sure with COVID and everything, like I have a ton of time, so I'm on social media maybe 70% more than I was before, which is toxic. It really is.
Do you have like in terms of like your decent people social media and your Twitter, does your significant other have any like what's the word I'm looking for?
Qualms with like the photos?
That's so weird. I was just gonna say qualms too, but I'm like, that doesn't sound.
It's the right word.
It is the right word, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, but just say it. Like
What
qualm.
the fuck?
Qualm.
What does qualm even mean?
Like if you have
I
any
don't even
qualms,
know.
if you have any qualms about something, like if you have any issues with him posting thoughty photos, like do you have any
Yes,
qualms of him posting thoughty photos?
Yes, that was my question. Yeah.
No.
Qualms.
Qualms. Qualms.
Oh my god, no. So, but the thing is also like, I'm not the thing. Like, if I was posting photos to kind of like hook up with people, that would be like a different thing. But I'm really just posting photos and like, I'm literally like thirst trapping. Like, I'm trapping you
Yeah.
to thirst after me,
And
but
he
I'm like
doesn't mind at
not
all.
responding to you if you respond to me.
He
Does that
doesn't
make
mind.
sense? No.
And now, if he did it,
Oh my god, I would mind.
oh,
Would you actually?
I would.
Holy fuck! You were like, I would mind. I would mind so much.
I would, and
as he storms out of the room.
that is the double standard, and I don't know why, but it's like I want to do what I want, but like if you do what you want, like we're gonna have an issue. And that's my life story.
On to you. I like the fact that I feel like Whoopi Goldberg just spearheading this
love that.
conversation.
Sing it,
On to
Whoopi.
you. So now,
Hi.
as a non-binary individual,
Yes.
with social media being a non-binary individual, how does social media impact your dating life? So for example, like let's say for example, if I'm swiping through Tinder
Mm-hmm.
and I can see like your Instagram at the bottom.
Yeah.
And for example, if I see that 90% of the time you live your life in drag, no offense to anyone that lives their life in drag, I'm swiping left,
Right.
right? Does that happen to you?
Yeah. Like on my hinge.
What the fuck is Hinge?
It's literally like Tinder.
It's like Tinder.
It's like for straights, right?
Bitch,
It started
get
as-
my phone and get me Hinge.
Hinge is kind of nice. It's like you meet people that are like ready to be in a relationship.
Oh my god, get me Hinge. You guys know what I'm thinking.
Hinge.
As soon as you guys
sponsor
leave.
us.
The one thing I love about it is that it Hinge tells you three things. Like you can write like, do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you do drugs?
Okay.
And like one of my friends, like two of my friends that have been in a relationship for a long time, the reason they both swiped on each other were like, yes, absolutely, is because they're both like, we do drugs. And like they were not like
Yes,
they're like
absolutely.
hardcore drug users, but it's just like, if I go out with my friends and do cocaine, would that like make you feel awful? You know,
Yeah.
this is a huge thing, right? It's
Yeah,
like at the
yeah.
end of the day, like if you would feel super uncomfortable in that situation. Anyway, they fell in love. They're still together, and I fucked one of them last week.
Oh,
That's the first person I fucked last week. But they Hinge. The thing that I rate on it is you have to answer all these questions on it, and one of the questions that asks like one thing, like you shouldn't date me if was one of the questions that you can answer. I was like, if you can't, if you think that it's weird that I use they them pronouns, or that like sometimes he him and sometimes she her and like all of these kind of things, like if you're not into that, then it's not going to work. And it's not like there's never like a, if you can't, especially if I'm dating you, if you can't understand any part of like my gender identity, which is it's like, and I always say this, like I'm not super keen. I don't really care about pronouns.
Mhm.
It's like I just feel like I have to care about pronouns because like there's other non-binary people in the world that really, really need like they them pronouns. Like I don't need them, but like I find it very important for people to look at my gender identity.
You deserve them.
Yeah, but I
There's a
also.
difference, yeah.
But I also am like in some circumstances comfortable with that. But like,
Mhm.
and also like when I'm sucking your dick and you're like being a bit dom, I love when people call me a good boy. So but I also want you to call me a princess.
I feel like
you know,
I feel like we need to have a conversation about that on a different episode.
Yeah.
that confuses the shit out of
I
me.
know, and it does, and it all does.
I
But
just had like a weird like vision of like, let's say you're encountering somebody that is non-binary and like you're like super respectful, but then like let's say you're like gonna have sex, and I picture you in the moment, like you're getting your dick sucked, and then you're
Me
thinking about
specifically?
yes,
Yeah.
and you're thinking about like what you're gonna say next, like the words are gonna come out.
I would
and
be
you
so
wanna say-
confused.
and that's exactly where I'm going. Like
Goody.
you want to say like, yeah, and like insert.
I would
blank
shut
word
the
here.
fuck up.
And then, but in your mind, you're having this internal struggle of like, shit, do I say like good girl or good boy
You
or
are-
good them?
I like
human.
1,000% correct.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you an example. So a second ago, I had referred to Jay as him,
yeah,
and in my mind, I was like, "Fuck,
yeah,
fuck," right? But so I'm like, "What would I do during sex?" And I apologize
it's okay.
for sure.
Would you be like, oh shit, no, just kidding.
I don't know what I would do. I would just not refer to you at all. You're an alien. You're just
which I have a non-binary friend who identifies as an alien.
See,
but like so overall, like this is a way longer topic. But like I am very much like. The one thing that happened to me interestingly on Instagram is somebody asked me to use their product. They were going to give it to me. They weren't giving me any money, but they're like, use my product, put it in one of your things. It doesn't have to be like a main thing. It just be like on the side or whatever. But it's like from Korea. And the way it's rewritten on the package, like the way it's translated is like, it's for men, or like, I'm a man, right on the side of it. And then I had to message them being like, I'm sorry. Like, thank you so much for sending this to me. But like, I can't. As like, especially with my followers, like there's no way that I can like post like, and I'm using this amazing product that says right on the front of it, I'm a man. Hashtag non-binary. Like it was like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way I'm getting away with that. No. Right. And like, and I didn't want to get away with it, but it is like an astringent. It's a really great product, but I just can't post it. No. I just can't. I'm like, it says right on the package, I'm a man. Like I just can't.
Okay, wait. So before we go on, like I just want to say that like, yes, in terms of this conversation, it can be confusing, but I just want to say that when somebody is like having that internal struggle of like, oh, okay, like I think that that's okay, because it shows that you are actually thinking about it and that you care enough to like either correct yourself or like, you know, want to say the right thing. Right. Whereas like it'd be totally a different story if somebody was like, just if like, let's say you told them my pronouns are they, them, and they were like, well, I'm going to disregard that and call you what I want. Like, no.
See, I look at it the same way, but a little bit different. I'm like, if the moment someone sounds like they care a little bit, there's a little bit of room for education. Do you know what I mean? But if they're just like, you know what? No, like J-Ho, you identify as non-binary, but you have a dick, him. There's no room for education there, right? So as long as you have a little bit of room for education, for me, it's like, regardless of your mishaps, like you can't fault them
do you know what's the sexiest thing to do to a non-binary person in bed?
What? Tell me.
I'm scared.
Before you suck my dick.
I'm scared.
What do you want me to call you while you're doing it?
For someone to ask you that?
Yeah. I'd be like, oh my God, yes.
You're like, I just finished.
I'm done. Thank you so much for your time. Like, anytime somebody like asks me what do you like being called, like in this point, like even like what before I even identify as non-binary, if somebody's like, do you like when somebody calls you a little bitch? And I'm like, yeah, I love when somebody calls me a little bitch, because I am. Like, choke me and call me a little bitch, and like that's fine as long as like, because now I know what, like in that moment, you know what turns me on, I know what turns you, and then I'm like, what do you want me to call you? Because like, you know, even in these like sub-dommy things, everybody thinks like sir and like daddy is the way to go, but sometimes you want to talk to somebody who like wants to just fucking pile drive your hole. And you ask them, what would you like to be called? And they're like, just call me my full fucking name. Like I had a Richard one time that I had sex with that always went by Ricky, and he was like, when I'm fucking you, you call me Richard. And I was like, what do you want me to call you? He's like, you're gonna call me fucking Richard. And I was like, yes, okay, for sure. You know,
the short form for Richard is Dick. No,
yeah, it is.
Should call him Dick.
Yeah, he did.
You're gonna call me Richard with the prefix Mister.
Fuck, I had a really good question for you. So now, as a non-binary individual, do you feel pressured to educate individuals through social media or no?
Sometimes, but then when I hashtag gay and insta gay, I get more likes. So it's like, or men from the six, you know, you like get more likes. And like, I just find, I also need to preface this for everyone. Gender for non-binary people is just as fucking confusing as gender is for cis people, right?
For everyone.
Like all of this gender stuff is so confusing because like we all want to get validated, and like the most people that validate me are gay white men. Do you know who I hate the most usually?
Gay white men.
Exactly. And they will probably make me feel like somebody the other day, I posted a photo on Instagram and I just dyed my hair blonde and I said, blondes do have more fun.
I saw.
Because white supremacy.
I saw.
And I thought it was so, like I was
hilarious.
In my house.
I died.
Like dying.
I was like, oop. I was
dying.
Like, oop. I was like, did this bitch really just go there? But okay.
I thought it was so funny. And I had like 3 white people that I unfollowed that day being like, well, oop, like that's a little bit problematic. And I was like, you're a little bit problematic. Get off my ass. Like, and like,
The fact that somebody, like, did they message you?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, like, that's...
they're like, I just think that's a little bit too much. And I was like, I think you're a little bit too much of a faggot. Get off my ass. I didn't say that. I just said, I just like the comment. Like, give a thumbs up.
I saw it too, and I knew something like that was going to come from it.
I think it's so, like, I'm just so funny, right? So it's like sometimes people can't handle it.
Okay, so then, well, to answer the question for myself, I don't. Social media doesn't impact me at all. At the very most, the most I think about my social media is like, shit, should I post a shirtless selfie today? Like,
Right.
I don't care about social media.
Should I post a shirtless selfie or should I post a selfie with a tank top?
A tank top, bitch. Literally, like that's it. I don't really care. But how has social media impacted you guys negatively in your lives?
Negatively.
So many ways.
Go.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
Well, I spend way too much time on it for one. The new timer, the worst thing iPhone's ever done is tell you how much time a week you're on your fucking phone.
Oh, I like totally dismiss that. I'm like, when it comes up, I'm like, I don't
I don't want to know what
I
you're
don't
saying.
need that negativity in
The
my life.
second one is that so like, as you know, I kind of like being validated.
Of course.
I talk so much on this podcast and I talk so much in regular life, and I like to like put things on my fucking Instagram being like white supremacy, ha ha ha, laugh at this. But I sometimes go, I find that I have more, what's the word I'm looking for? More guts
on social media.
to
Because
be
you're
like,
behind a screen.
yeah, you can fucking rail my hole anytime you want, baby. Or like I have my fucking close friends list and all these kind of things. Where I just feel like maybe I flirt with far too many people on the internet that like if they met me in person, sometimes they're like, hi, are you ready to have sex now? And I was like, oh no, that was just the internet.
Yeah. No, for
That
sure.
was just the internet. And people are like, you can't be two different people. You can't be the internet J and then RIL J. And I go, can I?
I mean, you can, for
Right.
sure. I think
Why
that,
not?
I think that social media and just like in general,
Yeah.
being on your phone gives you. It's almost like alcohol will give you like liquid courage, whereas like social media will give you, I guess, I don't know, screen courage.
Yeah.
Whereas like you and like I'm sure everybody has experienced this, where like you have encountered somebody that will 100% say something through a social media platform that they would never say in person to somebody.
Right.
Because
it's like how many people send death threats to drag queens.
yeah,
You know what? Sorry. On a positive note, I agree.
Yeah.
And I will admittedly say that if it wasn't for social media, I would not be comfortable expressing my opinions on like things like Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Because when like that shit first started for the first time in my life, I went off. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, because I'm like, I work around fucking the most hicky white people ever, and I've never felt the courage enough to come out and say these things. So it was social media that has allowed me to say that stuff. And then all of a sudden now, for some reason, I had the balls to go to work and be like, no, you're fucking a racist cunt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like now I'm like, look at my wrists. Like
Oh.
I wear like,
okay, BLM.
I have pins all over my uniform
Yeah.
of like fists. Like I go to work and I shun white people on a daily basis. Do you know what I mean? Like social media has empowered me in that sense.
Yeah.
But keep going.
True. So that's
I
like,
also love how much blacker you're getting all the time.
I don't think it's how much. I don't think it's how much blacker I'm getting.
I think it's
that-
you're getting more comfortable.
No, I think
No?
I think as all this stuff happens, I'm getting a lot more educated in
Right.
terms of like today alone, I educated myself on what Billie Holiday went through. And I had no idea that she was like literally like silenced by the government of America just like for her music, right? Things like that. So like, yeah, I don't know.
I think we're all, and I think that's like we're in that time where you can learn so much so quickly. Anyway, we interrupted your story. Did we?
What was I saying?
I don't remember.
Oh no, the
That you like cock. Anyway.
I mean, yes. No, but like, yeah. So what you were saying is, yeah, like in that like aspect of it, for sure, social media was positive for you because you kind of like use that to kind of give you confidence on screen, but also off screen.
Right.
Whereas for some people, I think that they only like, I think the default is you only have the confidence behind a screen because you're not like, you don't have to really like interact with somebody like
Right.
in person. You don't have that immediate reaction of like what they're gonna do after you like state your like your stance on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw my friend's younger cousins. They were like on TikTok. We still haven't even talked about TikTok, which I love. They were on TikTok, and one of them would laugh. They'd be like, ha ha ha. And instead of being like, look at this, like with their phone, being like, look at this, they would send it to their cousin and be like, look at this. They would click on it, watch the whole fucking minute thing by themselves and go, ha, 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 I love it. And then like send them. I was like, that to me, like just that alone is that you're not like sharing that moment with them with your phone.
Wait,
you're like,
are they in the same room?
they were beside each other.
You're lying.
They're sitting beside each other.
Okay,
That's awesome.
That sort of thing, I'm like, it's expected and it is what happens.
That's
but, like,
me and my sister.
that drives me crazy because I'm like,
Look at this. Send it. You don't just turn your phone. You say, look at this.
No.
And you send it to them.
see,
Whenever-
I do the opposite. I'm always like, if I find something funny, like if I'm not in the room with you,
Yeah.
like if you're somewhere else, yeah, I'll send it to you, obviously.
Yeah.
If I'm in the room with you and I'm like partaking in this, like let's say that I found this meme hilarious, like I'm just gonna show you the fucking meme.
No. So if you're like, let's say for example, like Christmas dinner, if it's like my whole family there and like there's an ongoing joke about my mom,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Me and my sister will be sending each other memes about my mom.
Yeah. But see, that's like sneaky. You're like trying to be sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't
They're
want
like,
to know.
they're like both listening to their fucking TikToks out loud,
Oh.
being like, look, or watch this and sending it to each other.
Oh.
See, that's crazy. I think like for me, that's like the remnants of like me being from the 90s where
Yeah.
I'm like, I still like some sort of human interaction.
Oh
So
my
I'm
God.
like, yeah, I love a meme. I love, a TikTok video if it's funny, but like I'm also gonna share and like
Were these millennials?
No, they're like 2000, like they're born in 2000, like Gen Zers. Maybe even young, like 2006, I think they're born. But and the thing is, like,
2006.
yeah,
What is that?
What, like 12?
2006. No, they're 15, right? 4 and 10. Yeah,
I don't know.
they're 15 this year.
It's my nephew, bitch.
But
No.
like, I feel. Do you ever feel like you're becoming those old people that are like those kids?
Yes,
Those dang kids.
absolutely.
But I
Oh
want to
my God.
uplift those Gen Zer voices. I think
I
the
don't.
one listen, girl, they've had access to information for so long. They have so much information. Sometimes the one thing is they're way too hardcore opinionated on things that they have no idea what they're talking about because they have access to just having this like uncanny ability to thinking that they know everything. But didn't we? Like I always say, like I was like, didn't I think I knew everything? Like maybe eventually those opinions and those thoughts will like expand because they have so much access to all these things that they'll be able to be really, really, they'll be able to really wind down what they're really, really passionate about because they get to see so many different things.
Do you want to know what the flip side is to that though? So I completely agree, but like looking for topics for this podcast, I was like going through Reddit and stuff, and there's a lot of people asking questions on like, how do I come out? How do I lose my virginity? All that kind of stuff.
How do I suck a dick?
And I kid you not, even that, how do I douche? Do you know what I mean? Like, what do I say when like I shit on a dick? All this kind of stuff. And typically it's like, it's these young kids. And what it is that they have all the materials to learn about their sexuality, but they have no materials or even no interpersonal relationships to actually go over the actual, like the back end of it.
Right. You don't have the moment of being like, hey, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Or even just talking to a friend, like, hey, what was it like when you first got fucked?
Yeah.
It's more so just like, okay, I'm gay. Here's all the porn I need. Do you know what I mean? Let me just jack off to all this porn. The first time they have sex, they have no fucking clue what they're doing.
Every 19-year-old has a cock ring now. Do you get where that joke came from?
I was like, what?
Because they all masturbate so much, and they just
yeah.
always like they're like cock rings hard all the time, fucking big dick, yeah, big veiny, fuck yeah, and like they all like just want these giant ass
Cock
shalong-alongs, and they actually for some reason all these 19-year-olds have fucking giant dicks. It's so annoying.
The skinny ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird.
always the skinny ones.
It is. It's so gross.
Where'd that come from?
I think it's hot. I think the only way I find a skinny guy really hot is if
Is it
there's
because
a
a massive
big
donkey dick?
dick. Yeah, like you have to be like anorexic, skinny,
Ram-a-lam, a
with
donkey
a big dick. I was like, holy shit, like that's a man.
Okay, you know, wait, before we move on, I just want to say on that topic, like I don't, for whatever reason, I don't find like really like skinny guys like really hot, but like I think I like the juxtaposition of like seeing a skinny guy that has no business having a donkey dick.
It's shocking.
It is, and it's just interesting. I'm just like, what?
He has all the business because he's so skinny. He needs something to balance it out.
Or the ones that are like skinny, 5'5", and then their dicks are 10 inches. You're like, how?
See, I've never seen a short guy with
God,
a really big
where
dick.
did you find these proportions? I don't know.
She was drunk when she made him.
So I think we are at the end of our time for this week, but we got next week.
Is there anything else you guys want to like throw out there? Is there anything that like social media has impacted you in a way where you're
Oh
like,
my
you
god!
know what?
Hey guys,
Can
if
you-
you want, I will make an OnlyFans.
Thank you.
What?
Just for fans, only fans. Come
All the
on.
proceeds will go to queer.
Me.
They'll just go to me. Go to decent people. Oh my god, that could be so good. You could be like, all of the funds for this is going to decent people, and actually, people are thinking that you're like giving it to nice, decent people,
people.
but actually, you're just
That's
taking it all. It's like the AAA grade beef from McDonald's. That's just the name of the company.
We love it.
I think overall, like social media, it's a pro and a con.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's allowed people to feel liberated, but it has also allowed trolls to come out of the hiding. It's sheltered young kids from reality. It's allowed people with depression to kind of feel like they have a little bit of an outlet. You know what I mean? So it's a pro and a con. I don't feel like we'll ever get a true understanding of the appropriate way to use social media.
No, and it's never going away.
It's never
It's
going
kind
away.
of like a Pandora's box. Like
Yeah.
they opened that shit, and now like it's great, but it's also not great.
Who's the guy Tom that did MySpace?
I don't know.
And then you could make your top 5 fave fan or best friends. Do you remember this?
I remember that.
So like
yeah.
he started it. That little guy sitting at the
started
desk
that.
going like this. He started that because he's the bitch that was like, pick your best friends.
Mhm.
only 5 of them.
Only 5. Pick them and say and prove to and then you were like in school and some girl named Ashley, who was your friend, was like, I thought I was your fucking top 5 friend. I guess not. And like walks away from you and you're like, oh fuck, now Ashley's mad at me. So like I think that he started it, then it started with likes, and now we're just in the space of I want you to fucking validate me.
Validation.
That's it. I don't know. Like this is going off into a complete different tangent. I just don't like how social media affects the entire world as a whole.
Absolutely.
For example, I'm not sure if you guys do stocks. Like
No.
no. So
Never heard of her.
for example, on Reddit, all of a sudden one day they all decided to like gang up together.
Oh, for GameStop.
GameStop. It wasn't just GameStop. It was GameStop, Sundial, fucking AMC theaters, all that kind of shit. And it caused the stock to go from like dollars to like 2 digits, 3 digits.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like amazing if you know what's happening, but then people that were investing in it fucking put their money in and then lost a shit ton.
But
So it's
those people are fucking taking. Sorry,
what?
those fucking people that are like able to like put the money in fast and take it out, do the hedge fund shit,
Well, we
all that
all
kind of stuff. I know we all can do it, but that's information sometimes is like secret. Like
We don't
nobody's
have
fucking
that
telling me how to do
information.
it.
Exactly.
So these sneaky fucking people with all this fucking money are sneakily stealing money, and then we come in because the internet taught us that we could do something cool, and we fucked them.
My
But they're
example exactly is that
Oh, I thought you were gonna say those the poor people who had the stocks already.
No, I'm saying that social
Oh,
media is
thank God.
impacting the world around us to the point where
you,
it's
Jamal.
fucking everyone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We're making like let's Robin Hood this shit.
bitch, how do you even know what Robinhood is if you don't do it stocks?
I was talking about Disney.
Robin
OMG.
the actual Robin Hood.
There is a stock app called Robin. Anyway,
Robinhood.
moving on. Moving on.
You just blew his
This has been
mind.
sponsored by Robin Hood.
There's actually an app called Robin.
Okay, let's get the fuck off this week and go to the next week. I think next week we're gonna be on the we're just gonna be chitty chatting. I think we're just in like a chitty chatty bang bang mood.
We're just gonna talk it out.
We're
bang.
off our rocker. We're kind of talking about social media. We're kind of talking about sex. We're kind of talking about love, and we're here to be your daddies.
We're here to stay queer.
I'll be your son.
What?
I'll be your gender non-conforming alien mother.
I'm down if you got the money.
So I'm out of here.
Goo goo gaga.